Now that we've imported this code into MCO I want to make a quick change here where we say constant integer max equals 20, which is the size of our array called buffer. Let's make that 16 because there's only 16 characters per line on our LCD display. The other changes we'd like to make here, want to set a breakpoint at the integer I, so we're just going to click to the left of the 25. I also want to set a breakpoint at lcd.clear, so I'm just going to click to the left of 30, and I also want to set a breakpoint here at lcd.print buffer, which is to the left of 43. Once I've done that, I'm just going to hit my little blue bug and say OK. And we made some changes to the 20 is now 16, so we'll just say OK to that. And we're ready to go. Now the only thing we want to do at this point is we want to double click here on buffer, right mouse click, and go down here to add watch expression. And we're just going to say OK for buffer. And we're also going to want to take a look at voltage. Double click, right mouse click, and say add watch expression, and say OK for voltage. And then voltage 1 as well, we'll just right mouse click and say add watch expression. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to open up buffer. And we can see buffer's got some random stuff in it, but when we hit our run button here and it runs down to here, it set every element of buffer to 0, 0 or null, so the entire array has been nulled here. Now if I hit run again, it's got 0.999 here and 2 spaces because that's what voltage is, and that's the %5.3f and 2 spaces. And then it's also calculated voltage 1, which is 3.326, and that's what we have here. And when we run it, it's going to put it up on our display, and we're going to see on our display here the numbers here 0.999 and 3.326. Now if I turn my pot or a little bit more to the right and let it go, and if I hit the run button again, what it's going to do is it's going to take a new reading as 0.566, and it's going to calculate that as 1.883 volts. And if I hit the run button one more time, I can see these numbers 0.556 and 1.883 showing up on our display. And this gives you an idea how the sprintf works, that it's actually taking these values of voltage and voltage 1, substituting them in for %5.3f here and here, putting them into our string array here, and then printing our string array on our LCD display.